Hi, are you tired of manually updating Excel reports? In just 10 minutes, I'll show you how to use Python to automate a sales report, calculating totals, and generating a clean summary. Let's dive in. My name is Stanley. Now, before we start, I just want to let you know that I already have an Excel sheet that I created earlier, an Excel sheet containing sales data with headings like date, product ID, quantity, and price. I have already created that Excel sheet, entered some data into it, and saved it on my desktop. Now, in Jupyter Notebook, I had to do two installations using the pip install, pandas, and OpenPyXL. Now, I have installed them. As you can see, it says requirement already satisfied. Now, since I've done this, the next thing I'll do now is to import them. Since I've done the installation, I have to import these libraries to enable me work on the Excel sheet. So how do we do this? Just follow through and watch my screen. Okay. Now I can add a comment if I wish, but let me just go straight to my code first. Now I'll go with import pandas as PD. That's the right way to do that, just so you know. Good. Now the next thing I'll do is load that Excel sheet I told you I created. I need to load it into this environment so I can go ahead and analyze it. Okay, the next thing I'll type is I'll create a variable where that my work will be stored. You know, in programming, we have this concept of variable. You need to create a variable for whatever activity you need to do. That file I'm bringing in has to be stored somewhere. So I'll go ahead and create a variable, call it df equals to pd, that is the pandas, dot read, okay, underscore excel, which tells Python that I intend to read an Excel file into this environment. Now I'll open a bracket and then I'll declare a path to where that my Excel sheet can be found. Okay, as you can see, I have entered the file path to where my Excel sheet is, and this is the file path, right? If you can't get this, go to the file where you saved it on your desktop, the Excel file that you have created. I'm going to share a link to mine so you can download it and use if you can't create yours. Now, if you get to the file, all you need to do is right click on the file. All right, for instance, this is my file. Okay, so what you do is right click on the file and go down to properties. Now you see the link, you see the root to your file here. This is where your file is. So this is the part that I have inserted into my code. This is the file part. Now I want to print the head of the file to see exactly what it looks like. So I'm going to do that by entering Shift Enter. Okay, now let's see what this gives us. Good. It has given me the head of my file. You can see my file. There is date, there is ID, there is names, there is region, there is rating, and the rest of them is disjointed, but this is just to give us an idea of what the file looks like. Product, quantity, unit price. Yeah, so that's that for now. So we'll continue. The next thing now we need to do is to process this data. All right, we've looked at this file, we've seen the structure, how it is, and it's exactly what we wanted. There are no missing data inside, everything is clean and well arranged. So the next thing we need to do is to process this file. And how do we do that? We need to get the totals. If you look at these last two columns, you'll see it talks about the quantity and price. This quantity and price here. So we need to calculate the total. And how do we do that? We do that by multiplying the quantity by price and summarizing them by product. So let's proceed. Now I'm going to impute a code to help me achieve that. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, if you look at my screen, you'll see that from where we stopped last, we had already imported the head. We have been able to execute a code to view the head of the file, and we decided that we were going to calculate the total sales, right, by multiplying the quantity and the price. Now, I have included a code on my terminal to do that for me. Now, if you look at the top here, you see that I added a comment. We add comments in Python using the hash sign. So when executing, this particular line is exempted. Now, you see that I said calculate total sales per row. df, which is my variable name, total sales equals to the quantity is inside Excel multiplied by the price. That is, each item in this column will multiply by each item in this one to give total. Now below, I also continue by saying I need to summarize that sales, but this time around by product, not just getting total. I need to summarize the total product. This here is meant to be